How did you find out your SO was cheating on you? We were watching a movie at his house when I received a phone call from his roommate's girlfriend. She sounded upset and asked me to step outside so she could speak with me privately. I didn't think to ask how she knew I was currently with my boyfriend. I went out to the front yard, and she told me about how she and my boyfriend's roommate, her boyfriend, were led to believe that we had an open relationship. He was bringing girls home constantly whenever I was gone, sometimes the same girls repeatedly. She and her boyfriend, the roommate, had only just realized that I had no idea what was going on. They felt awful and made a plan to tell me. I was a little numb when she told me this. It was hard to believe I could be so oblivious. There were many nights when I was working late studying, I was in college, and many nights he said he had to work late, and I never questioned him. When I went back inside, my boyfriend wasn't there. I found him in his roommate's bedroom. The roommate had come out while I was on the phone and told him who I was talking to and why. He was sitting on the floor and couldn't even look at me. I tried to talk to him about what he'd done and for how long. Roommate tried to help facilitate, good guy, but my boyfriend couldn't even look at me. He kept repeating how awful he was. It got annoying. So, after a little while, I thanked the roommate profusely and left the room. A friend picked me up. I maintained my composure as I went to gather my things, exit the house, and get in the car. Then I put my head between my knees and sobbed. I broke up with him right after that. I had a strange week of him trying to get back into my good graces and me almost letting him, but I had realized how immature and stagnant of a person he was. He stalked me for a little bit, and my own roommate threatened to call the cops if he ever came on our property again. He was in his mid-20s, and I was 19 when we started dating, and I didn't realize how much of a red flag that was. I'm glad I wasted only a year of my life on that person. I look back and cringe, but I was young and still figuring things out. I still hope his roommate and the girlfriend are doing well. What do you think you would do if that ever happened to you? Now here's another one, the one that actually broke me. I was dating this girl for about a year and a half. We had met through a dating app. She moved in, and everything in our relationship was amazing. The connection, the adventures, the time we spent together was something we both looked forward to. We talked about our future, kids, etc., and got along with each other's parents. She was the first person I'd fallen deeply in love with. This was it. This was the girl I was going to marry. I used to be quite the ladies' man before meeting her, but she was the first to make me want to be a better person. In hindsight, this is pretty funny. My friends have all openly stated how much they disliked her personality, but I guess I never noticed it. Fast forward a few months, she went on a bachelorette party to another state. In the past, I might have been skeptical about my girlfriend going on a party trip, but as I said, everything was amazing between us. So, for the first time in my life, I wasn't jealous or concerned. We texted and talked on the phone while she was away. She came back after a week, and I immediately noticed some bruising on her body. I questioned her about it, and she showed me pictures of her being thrown into a pool. I didn't think much of it because she bruises very easily. Weeks went by, and she started drinking more often. I'd come home after a 14-plus-hour shift to find her passed out on the couch. I started feeling extremely anxious. Something in my mind was telling me that there was an issue. Maybe she was drinking something away? I don't know why, but my gut kept telling me not to trust her, to go through her phone, to freaking do it. I had never gone through a significant other's phone before, but for the first time in my life, my brain kept urging me to do it. While she was passed out, I went through it. There were a couple of random flirtatious messages from guys, but that's expected with an attractive girlfriend. She didn't reply to them. Then, I found a number that wasn't saved. My stomach sank, and I felt sick. I could feel my heart racing, and it sounded loud as I sat in my bedroom reading. My vision started to narrow, and I felt like I was going to pass out. And there it was. Text messages with some random guy discussing every little detail. The initial texts revealed that she downloaded a dating app during her trip and invited a group of guys back to their house. I kept reading and discovered him asking if she felt guilty. She said she didn't, and mentioned she had never truly loved anyone in her life, no guilt or remorse. I checked the dates to realize she was talking to this guy while living in my apartment, which I paid for. Even on the days I was home, sitting right next to her, it hit me like a ton of bricks. The texts, her bruises, everything. I immediately got up and woke her. As drunk as she was, she kept denying everything. I told her to call the number right now. She tried to play it off, but I demanded her to make the call. She dialed it, and I could see the location going back to the same state she had visited. The guy answered, and she acted clueless, asking who he was. I took the phone and asked who he was. He said that whatever was happening was between me and her only. I agreed completely. I was as calm as ever. I said, "From one man to another, just tell me, did you two did it?" He said yes. I replied, "She's all yours." I hung up and told her to leave. She absolutely lost it, crying and begging me to take her back. She was hysterical, but I didn't care. Then she started acting crazier and crazier, even threatening to call the police and falsely accuse me of assault while smiling. At this point, I realized that this person is a literal psychopath. I had never noticed it before. I've had plenty of experience with women to recognize this kind of behavior. She refused to leave and began making threats to ruin my life. I made sure my phone was still recording. After realizing her true nature, I decided to play the game. While she was losing her composure, I messaged her friend and asked her to pick her up immediately. As upset as I was, I changed my tone and demeanor. I softened my voice and calmly told her it was okay, that we could talk about it tomorrow and everything would be fine. Deep down, I knew this person was crazy, and I was 100% done. Cheating was an immediate deal-breaker for me. There was nothing more to it. She left with her friend, taking some of her belongings. I immediately sent a text to my friends in our group chat saying I needed someone. I didn't need to explain further. They replied, "Where do you need us?" They came over, and I just broke down. They spent the entire night with me until the early morning hours. The next morning, I woke up to dozens of calls and texts from her. I didn't answer. After some time, I called her parents and told them to come and get her stuff. I also informed her mom about everything she did. Both of her parents came, and she came as well. Her parents were disgusted with her. Her mom asked specific questions, but I didn't care. I just wanted her gone. She was hysterical even as she left, and her mother had to escort her out. I had booked a 2-week luxurious vacation in multiple villas with her in a foreign country. I had even planned a couple of surprise trips that she didn't know about. My friends ended up coming with me on these trips, and we had the time of our lives. I had dodged a disaster and made some incredible memories with all my friends. Lesson learned, trust your instincts. If your gut is telling you something, listen to it. If someone starts acting irrationally or making false claims, record it. It could save your life. So, what's your story? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time.